And we are back for episode 100 of the Peak Signing Agents podcast. And like I said, I have a special guest for you. I'm DVO Derek Van Otten, and I have the great and powerful Roman Rosario with us today. Roman, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with you. And honestly, so honored to be here on episode 100 of your podcast. I'm so amped for you to get to 100 podcasts and this awesome service that you provide for notaries, for the notary
Oh,
community.
thank you so much. I enjoy it. This is my way to give back to the notary community. It's my way to educate the notaries and signing agents. I've learned that from you and Mark
Mhm.
Wills, and so I really appreciate you guys being my friends. So a lot of people might not know your story or your background. You're a little bit behind the scenes on certain things, but just I'll let you tell the story in a moment. But just so everyone knows, you are the co-founder of the loan signing system. You and Mark Wills, he was on, I believe it was episode 42 he was on. So if you guys haven't seen or watched that episode, make sure you go to it. But Mark Wills is kind of like he's the face of the loan signing system. He started off as a loan signing agent, started a signing service, then started the course to teach anyone that wants to be a loan signing agent on how to do it the right way. And you are also a part of that. You and Mark started this together, but it goes before that. You and Mark have known each other before the loan signing system. Why don't you share your story about your entrepreneurial journey, how you guys started it, how you met, all of that. I would love for you to share that with our audience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's absolutely right. Like a lot of people, I am behind the scenes. I kind of handle the business side, the operations side, the marketing side, digital marketing, that type of thing. And but I've had the good fortune of knowing Mark for a long, long time. It actually we met in high school. We were best buds in high school, and we both wanted to be good at business. And so we connected not only as friends, and we had a big friend group that we would all hang out with, but also in our interests. So one of the things that really early on, right out of high school, we actually started a couple of businesses together,
Okay.
smaller businesses. We were trying to do what we could to understand how business worked. And so I always had this intention to be a good businessman. And part of it was because of, I wanted to prove that I could do it. We talked about this before, but my dad, I forgot to tell you this. My dad actually always wanted to own a restaurant, and I wanted to follow in that vein. And so and most importantly, I wanted to have a family. I wanted to take care of my family and be able to have the resources to do that. And so those were all on my mind when I was younger. And so anyways, the start of loan signing system kind of starts there. That was the seed,
Okay.
right? And so one of the things that I wanted to do, it was funny because of all of the businesses that Mark and I started early on were didn't we failed basically.
Okay.
So we worked hard, but we didn't know much about business, and so I started learning everything I could about business, and I started reading books, and I started reading books like Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by
Good one.
Stephen R. Covey. Yep, the late great Stephen R. Covey. I went to trainings. Mark and I have a picture of Mark and I going to Zig Ziglar trainings, the
Wow.
legendary Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
Brian Tracy, I went and saw Jim Rohn live before he passed as well. And he was, if anybody knows Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn was his mentor. And so it was, and then I went to college, and I ended up joining this commercial real estate firm. Mark ended up going down to San Diego. He went to college at San Diego State. I went to college in Northern California. Afterwards, I joined this commercial real estate firm, and I learned as much as I could about business. And then in 2013, I started my first online company, which is helping people invest in commercial real estate properties across the United States. We raised capital, we became profitable early on, and finally, I kind of reached this goal of becoming a good businessman. I was also starting a family at the time. I had 3 kids at the time. But long story short, after raising capital and growing the team and becoming profitable, I looked up and I wasn't giving my family my full attention. And so my goal of becoming a great businessman got in the way of becoming a great
Mm.
family man. And so as a result, my family was in shambles. I was going through a divorce. I wasn't spending the quality time with them as they needed. So, and because it was largely because of the company I started got accepted in this program called Y Combinator, which is a startup accelerator. Companies like Airbnb and DoorDash and Instacart went through that
Oh,
program.
wow.
Yeah, before they were billion-dollar companies, they went through Y Combinator, and they were struggling startups. By the way, fun fact, DoorDash. So how Y Combinator works is that it's literally like it's like AA for startups, right? Like
Uh-huh.
you're in a small group, and all you do is you talk about your problems of starting up the company, and these mentors will help you. And some of the mentors at Y Combinator are phenomenal. Like Gary Tan, who basically was the lead investor in Coinbase, or Sam Altman.
Oh,
Yeah, Sam Altman, who started, of course, ChatGPT. Like he was one of the mentors. And so, anyways, DoorDash, the guys over at Door, I don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but I'm going to say it anyway.
okay.
It's kind of funny. But the DoorDash guys were talking about like their challenges, and I was just listening to their business model at the time, and they were only selling like burritos and Chinese chicken bowls, basically,
Okay.
and they're like talking about their struggles, and they're like, yeah, then they're like, oh well, how much are you charging? Well, it's like, oh, we're charging $8 for the bowl. And how much are you paying the drivers? Oh, they get $1 per delivery. And all I thought to myself was, this business isn't going to work. And now look at them, they're a billion-dollar company, went
I think
public.
they're doing all right.
I
Yeah.
think they're doing okay, I'm happy to say that their service is helping all of us out, including myself. I use it
Right.
from time to time. But to go through this Y Combinator program, you actually had to live in Silicon Valley. Like you had to actually show up to these meetings. And I lived about 2 to 3 hours away. So instead of commuting the 4 to 6 hours every day, I would
Uh-huh.
live in Palo Alto and 4 days, and I would come home on the weekends. And I found out really soon that that's not great for a marriage nor for my kids. And so I ended up going through a divorce, and one day I just remember it so clearly. I wanted to be a businessman for my whole life, up to that point. And I just remember the moment, and I just said, you know what, I just need to, I just want to spend time and have the flexibility to be with my kid,
Yeah.
and I want to be there for them, and I want to be, the very best family man I could be. And so I reset my primary intention from being a good at business to being the best family man I could be. But to do that, I needed the flexibility to spend quality time
Uh-huh.
with my family. So I asked the question, what is a business that I could do to make money while giving me the flexibility to be with my kids? And at that same time, Mark called. And Mark, we've been best buds for the longest time. And I said, hey, Mark, what you been up to? And he's like, man, I just taught Robbie how to become a loan signing agent, and he made
Uh-huh.
five grand last month. And I was like, huh. I was like, oh shoot, okay. Well, maybe I should become a notary then, And
Uh-huh.
I always like admired Mark because he had just all of this flexibility. He was always traveling, he'd go on ski trips to Lake Tahoe, and a week to Spain, and he just had all of this flexibility, and also he was making a lot of money being a loan signing
Uh-huh.
agent.
Yeah.
So I said, hey Mark, can you teach me? And Mark, because of he's amazing, and because of that, he always taught all of his friends for free how to become a notary. That's how he showed his friends love, and that's when he taught me. So so Mark's like, of course, I'm going to teach you. And he said, and because of he was in San Diego and I'm in Northern California, he says, get on a Zoom, print out the docs, and he taught me step by step, literally,
Uh-huh.
just like in the course now, he's just,
Uh-huh.
okay, here, turn the page, here's the deed, here's the note, here's the good faith estimate. This is how you go through it, all that stuff. And so I do my first loan signing,
Uh-huh.
and I
How long
put
did it
my
take you?
first loan signing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it took me, I was so nervous for my first loan signing.
Uh-huh.
And so just like every first loan signing, I don't know, were you nervous when you did your
Oh
first loan
yeah.
signing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I just like, I went through the loan signing, and the first part didn't take that long, but I was like double checking, and they were kind of doing.
Uh-huh.
I probably went through the loan docs like 3 times to make sure I didn't
Oh,
miss a step.
good. Okay.
That's what Mark, said. Hey, just make sure you do the training. Make sure that like he said, don't worry about it. Just remember the training and double check your loan docs. So I went through it multiple times, but it took me about an hour and a half, I would say.
Okay, okay, all right.
Yeah. And so I did the signing, and that included drive time. It was really close to me. So I did the signing, and then I get on the phone with Mark afterwards because he's like, "Hey, call me afterwards. Let me know how it
Uh-huh.
goes." And he's like, "Hey, Roman, how did it feel to make $100 in an hour?" And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, it felt good, but all I could think about was, now I know how to make this great income, and now I could do this professional job that was easy to
Uh-huh.
get into. But most importantly, like now I have this flexibility with my family.
Yes.
So all I could say was like, dude, we got to teach this online. And
Ah.
and that was the start of loan signing system.
And so Mark was training and teaching his friends how to become loan signing agents because he became a loan signing agent from bank that he worked at. Is that
That's
right?
right.
Or yeah. And so he kind of learned about it, started doing it, started teaching his friends. You were like, hey, I want to do that too. He taught you, and then you were like, okay, just how you taught me online, why don't we teach thousands of people online? And you guys have literally trained tens of thousands of people online now. Isn't that crazy to think about?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the interesting thing is like we never thought we would like and even now, like I don't even think like, oh, I want to teach as many people as possible. All we think about is we want to teach the person that needs it most. Like the person that's well, like for example, there's an on the road Mark does these interviews with people, and there's this
Yeah.
gentleman, Valentino, and
Uh-huh.
he just needed to do it for his son. He just needed to be
Yeah.
there for his son, and because of he took the online course, now he was able to provide for his son and be there for his son in the time of need. And that's how we think about this whole business. It's like we don't sit in meetings and say, how do we reach every single person. We sit and say, how do we reach the person who needs something that they can have the flexibility,
Yeah.
that they could take care of themselves, take care of their family. And so, but whenever we focus on that, I guess we look back, and yeah, we've taught some people for sure.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. I know Valentino. I mean, he was a single dad trying to just have some flexibility as well to be there for his son.
That's
And that's what
right.
you were looking for too, flexibility with your family. I want to give you some flowers real quick. You don't even know this, but a couple years ago, you kind of told me that a little bit. Well, actually, how our conversation started was you asked me why did I start a podcast, and I was like, it's more like I know so you were talking about my personal podcast, not this one
Yeah.
helping notaries and signing agents, and I just said it's more of a legacy thing. I don't know how long I'll be alive for, and I want to change my family's tree. I want my kids or my grandkids or great grandkids to be able to watch
Mm,
some things that I've done. So I was like a little bit more on the selfish side. I want to just show my generations after
yes.
me, my legacy, like what I did and how I thought. And you also shared that story about your family and going through your divorce. And I remember
Mm,
saying, I could easily, be down in my office like where I'm recording right now and just work for hours and hours and work on things. And sometimes I would disengage from my family and just be here in the office just working on things for a long time. And so I'm not trying to say, I'm happy you went through divorce, but I am saying that lesson, you actually shared that with me, and that made me say, hey, I need to stop hiding in my office and I need to be spending time with my wife and my
mm.
kids. And that helped
Ah,
me 2 years
that's
ago.
beautiful.
And
Ah,
and
yeah.
I'm sorry you went through that, but just know that there was a silver lining that actually made me want to stay more prevalent with my family because of you sharing that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I'm glad we could have that conversation, and we're just all out here helping each other. And there is a happy ending to my story and my family. My ex-wife is remarried. She's very happy, but we have a very integrated family. We vacation together. We were just at my daughter's dance recital together, and her new husband is fantastic. And they call him the bonus husband, and I should say not bonus husband, bonus dad. And we just have, most importantly, it's funny because of this all kind of has come to almost the end of this chapter, not the end of this chapter, but the end of the story. I had this intention that I wanted to be this amazing family man, over
Uh-huh.
that started, in 2016, 2015, 2016, when I went through my divorce. And I just wanted to, mend all of the relationships that maybe had not been, fully nourished, and fully
Uh-huh.
fostered. And I just feel like, the moments that I've had with my daughter and my two sons have been beautiful. I just went and had breakfast with my son here actually yesterday again. And I know last time we talked, I had breakfast with my other son. And when the beautiful thing about being a business owner, whether you are a notary or you have another type of business, real estate agent, whatever it is, you're your own boss.
Yeah.
And above all, now this is Mark and myself's biggest mission is to
Uh-huh.
help people become better business owners so they could be their own boss, so they can have that flexibility to spend the time with your family, with the people that matter most. and
Yes.
and without me going through what I went through, I first and foremost, I wouldn't have had that kind of slap in the face, like, hey Roman, wake up, like, there's some people that are counting on you.
True.
And when I look back at that journey, I look at all of the resources that we were able to take advantage of. I we had coaches, we had mentors, we had tools that we could have access to, and that allowed me to become a better business owner. And now Mark and I, above all, what we care about is making sure that we give the notary community the same access to those type of resources, whether it's
Uh-huh.
coaching, mentorship, tools to help your business grow bigger, faster, better, while also giving you back time so you can actually spend time with your family. Because of at the end of the day, that's what we're doing this for, right? Like,
Right.
what else are we trying to do? Like, no one cares what kind of car we drive or where we live. What matters is that we can actually be there for our loved ones, that we can
True.
stand up for them so they know that somebody is there for them, and they can live their own happy and fulfilled lives.
Man, that is so true. I mean, that's the purpose and that's the beauty of entrepreneurship and being in control of your own destiny, basically, and giving the time to the people. A lot of times when we have our jobs, we give most of our time to the people who care the least and the least amount of time to the people who care the most about us. And that's
Yes.
where I was,
Oh,
when I was in the business world, corporate America world, trying to climb the corporate ladder. And then now that I'm in the entrepreneurial world, I'm able to give more time to the people who care the most about me, my family, versus
wow.
giving more time to someone who they could fire me at any moment,
Oh
and
my
not
gosh.
care
Yeah.
care about me at all.
You nailed that. That was spot on. And as you said that, I was having like some PTSD moments of like when
Yeah.
I worked at this commercial real estate firm, which was fantastic. I learned so much. And, if you're listening, boss at a commercial real estate firm, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And also, I was working 12 hours a day
Wow.
and
Yeah.
and not having the energy nor the time to really spend with the people that mattered most. But that's why we go through the struggle of becoming entrepreneurs, and that's why Mark and I are so passionate to make sure that notaries are fully equipped with everything they can do to do the same. Quite frankly, and
Yeah. Let's talk about that. I mean, the loan signing system rolled out in 2016. And I mean, you guys were like recording videos and training videos. Was that you and Mark together? Were you holding the camera and he was talking? Is that how it was?
Yeah, yeah. Every time, yep. We were there side by side. I'd go there. He had a studio set up in his apartment and in San Diego, and in his condo, and I'd be there, and we'd set up these lights, and yeah, we started from the very beginning just like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's so awesome. Again, you were
Yeah.
behind the scenes there. And so what happened was, um 2016 loan signing system rolls out. I'm running a finance firm. And I think, you know what? I want to become a notary just to add benefits. I needed a notary. I couldn't find one. The bank didn't have one. They're like, oh, they're not in right now. You have to come in later. I'm like, oh, this is a pain. And I thought, oh, what if I could become a notary? So I'm with my clients. I'm helping them with their investments and their insurance. but what if I could just for free, just like be a notary for them or for like my family? If they needed a notary, sure, I'll do it for you. So I was
Yeah.
telling my friend about it because he was working at a bank, and I said, "Hey, how did you become a notary?" And he told me, he's like, "Oh, it's really easy. You just study this, take the test, boom, order your stamp, you're ready to go." I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
simple enough. And then he told me, he's like, "I actually have a friend who does like mobile notary stuff." I was like, "What do you mean? What does that mean?" And he said, "Well, what he, he'll get like a call and go to the hospital, for example, and someone says they need something notarized, and he had to go like at 10 p.m. So he charges them this much." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting. That might be kind of fun to do." So I started looking up mobile notary. And one of the first things that I run into is the loan signing system YouTube channel.
Mm.
And I started watching some of those earlier videos. And this was at the end of 2016. So I don't know exactly when you rolled it out in 2016, but this is at the end of 2016. I'm starting watching some YouTube videos of the loan signing system, kind of learning it a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, watching some videos. And and then I watched the video, and it was marked like a day in the life or something like that, where he showed he was going to his where you no, he was doing that. He was doing like
Yeah,
selfie
is this whole
work.
thing? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so he was just kind of like showing, I'm going into my title office, picking up documents. Oh, I just finished the closing. I'm back at the title office. I'm packaging it for them. Off to the next appointment. And he just did that. And he showed, this how much I made today. And if I did this, so many days, Monday through Friday, I just made over 100,000 a year. I was like, wait a
Mm.
minute, what? I've been in business for a while, trying to get to 100,000, haven't got to it yet. And I was like, I kind of think this is kind of cool. And so I go get my notary commission, and I got my commission January of 2017. And a little bit before that, there was a webinar. So this was before Zoom existed. This was before Google
Uh-huh.
Meet existed. This was Citrix webinars. And it was him kind of talking, and then explaining how it works, and the real estate, how it all works with real estate. And then, then the sales pitch at the end, like, join the course. And I was like, probably don't need a course. I can just probably do this by myself. And I just went on it, and I for years I was just following the loan signing system on social media and the YouTube
Yeah.
channel, just watching things here and there, following along. And I still didn't join the course. I probably stopped doing my finance firm a few months later and just focusing on loan signings. And my first year did 100,000. Second year
Wow.
doing 100,000 just with signing services. Didn't even go direct. And then I just found myself plateauing. I'm like, I'm kind of stuck. I don't know where to go.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't really want to do this course, but maybe I'll just reach out to Mark and have him mentor me, like one on one. And I was gonna call. I was messaging him here and there, and he was like, "Hey, you needed, yeah, I can help you. Just let me know." And then I finally said, "Okay, hey, can I just hire you to mentor me?" I was gonna pay him like $500 for an hour, just to give me some mentorship to get to the next level, so I wasn't plateauing. And he
Yeah.
said, "I'll be happy to help you. Take the course." So I'm
Yeah.
like, "All right." He's like, "If you take the course, there's a part where we get to one-on-one mentorship." So I start flying through the course, but I'm like, I'm learning a lot. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think
Hmm.
about this or know about this. It was so inclusive, the course. And then I get to the one-on-one section, and he was like, "Well, look who's finally here." And I was like, "Yep." And we do the one-on-one section.
Yeah.
But I had before that, before I took the course too, it was because I signed up to go to the conference.
Mm.
And this was the Las Vegas 2021. Is that when that was in
That's
Las
right.
Vegas?
Yep.
When did you guys start doing the conferences?
2018.
2018, that was the
Yeah.
first one. So
2018.
2018, 2019, and then maybe there's a couple breaks because of COVID. Is that what happened?
COVID 2020 was a COVID break. Yeah, we had one scheduled, had to push it because of COVID. And
Yeah.
2021 was Vegas. Yeah, and you show up. Yes.
Yes. And so I want everyone to know, though, what we're going to talk about as we go into more areas, you do not have to be a loan signing system student for some of these things we're going to be talking about coming up here in this episode. Groundbreaking information we're going to share actually a little later. But but yeah, I actually signed up for the conference trying to get to that next level. And I wasn't even a student. I wasn't even a student. But then it got postponed because of COVID. That's when I was like, hey, let me just kind of reach out to Mark and say, just coach me, man. Just like give me some coaching. It's like, no, take the course. I learned so much, was taking the course. And
Yeah.
then it also, because of COVID, I had a little extra office space. So because I was running around like crazy, I actually was renting out a small little office space. So in case I need to run somewhere and print or scan and then get back on the road. And because COVID was shut down that office space once in a while, I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if I could like always have my office with me? And then the wheels started turning about like, why don't I drive a mobile office? I started looking at mobile
Uh-huh.
offices. I customized my office. I send Mark the video. I just sent him a little like, hey, check out my new mobile office. He was like, dude, I'm coming to Salt Lake to check this sucker out. And then next thing I know, you and Mark show up in Salt Lake.
That
And
mobile
that,
office is legendary, by the way.
yes, I mean, that put me
It
on
was
the map
awesome.
of the notary world for sure. But
How much
that's
did
where
your
we met.
income go up after you took the course?
So I was doing like 10 to 15,000 a month personally. And then I jumped to 20, 25,000 a month personally.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
almost, I
You
mean,
went
almost
direct,
doubled.
you started
Yeah.
going direct, getting the full fee and had
Yeah.
more
Started
control
going
over that. Wow.
direct. I mean, that wasn't even an idea I had till I took the course, like going direct,
Yeah.
and then it was going, when I went to the conference in 2021, that's when the idea started planting the seed for me to starting a signing service. So
Mm,
if it wasn't for
mhm.
that conference, I wouldn't have probably signed a starting. I mean, I probably would have, but it would have taken longer.
Yeah.
I probably would have got to where I am today, but it would have been longer had I postponed. And I always say this, like Mark probably would have started the loan signing system at some point, but who knows when? It was you that actually planted the seed in him about like, hey, let's like, what you did with me, let's do this with everyone.
Well, that
And
it's
it's so interesting.
yeah, and that's the benefit. That's exactly why, I take so much online training, in-person training. I go to courses. It's a consistent thing. Like Mark and I are consistently learning because
Right,
of that's exactly what a course does. It's just a shortcut to success. You can get
right.
there. You can get there on your own, sure. But we built a business here in loan signing system in a short period of time, not because of I'm smart or Mark's smart. It's because of we actually leveraged an online course, coaches, things like that. And so, if you want to get good at business and you don't have a one-on-one coach, if you want to get good at business and you're
Hmm.
not taking online courses or any courses whatsoever, then you're going to have a tough go, and it's going to be tough for you to have success in any field, whether you're a real estate
Yes.
agent or a notary signing agent or you're starting an online business or whatever it might be. And so I'm glad you finally took the leap and showed up at our conference and took the
Yes.
course because of, in the same 8 hour period of time at our conference over a couple of days, or the same, 8 hour period of time going through the course, you probably learned, 20, 30, 40 new techniques and strategies and business ways to be a better business person.
Yes.
And so it's really a shortcut to success. So kudos to you for finally kind of saying, you know what, let's go do that. And I'm sure you've been able to provide a lot more for your family now.
Oh yes, and I thank you and Mark for that. And when you guys were in Salt Lake too, we went out to lunch. Yourself and Mark and myself and my wife, the four of us went to lunch, and you both asked me like, hey, do you want to be an ambassador for the loan signing system and represent Utah? And I just want to share that too. Just that what I've learned from that is the way you guys think about giving back. Like
Yeah.
we're not in competition. We're here to help each other. And there's
Yeah.
lots of these Facebook groups that are specific for like locations that the loan signing system kind of holds. And we hold meetups, and we're
Hmm.
there, and we were trying to give back to the notary community. And that's something I learned from the two of you as well. Like giving back, and to think we're not in competition. I have an episode, one of our episodes is about networking with other loan signing agents, because you can't like be everywhere at every moment. And if you work with other notaries, you can share and say, hey, I can't be there for you, client, but I've got someone I can recommend for you, and they'll do
Yeah.
a great job as well. And it just makes you look better as a signing agent.
Totally. Yeah.
It's just
And
I keep
and
sharing.
yeah, absolutely. And we view it as natural law. Like to me, this is natural law. Like you have to give. Like if
Yeah.
you're not giving value, if you're not giving of yourself, if you're not, serving to the best of your ability, then what are you doing? Like
Right.
then you're not necessarily helping in the best way you can. And if you're not helping the best way you can, then no one's going to use your business or service anyways. It's natural law, and even if people don't use your business or service, it's better for you. You continuously are giving, and it's that's one of the mindset of being a good business person is one of the most important things, and one of the big
Yes.
mindset shifts as being a good business person is to always give and give of yourself, give value to the people that you serve. And so that is the ethos of loan signing system.
And that's fabulous. And there's one thing when you realize too, once you start reaching certain rings of success, levels of success, you realize you don't want to climb that ladder by yourself. You want to help other people up with you and climb up together. And that's something
That's
I've
right.
learned from you guys as well. That I really appreciate. Like, oh, I don't have to be alone, and I don't have to climb this ladder alone. And I can someone is above me that will pull me up, and then I can reach down, help someone else, and pull them up with me too. And that's
That's
something that
right.
I've learned as well that I've just loved. Let's talk about that. So 2016, you wrote loan signing system. You guys are teaching notaries and anyone else who wants to become a signing agent how to do it the right way and provide great service, not just about how to read documents. That's one thing I love too. I'm like, hey, there's other courses out there like the NNA. They'll teach you how to read the documents. But
Yeah.
what the loan signing system does is it teach you too is like how to get clients, how to keep clients, how to perform these professionally at the table, how to do a great job, how to show gratitude to your clients. And you're wearing a shirt or a hat that says grateful on it that the LSS has created. Yeah. Then that rolls out in 2016. 2018 was your first conference.
That's right.
And then so you start having conferences. Anyone that wants to is more than welcome to get a ticket and attend. But you start surrounding yourself with all these successful or wanting to be successful signing agents, and you're just picking each other's brains and breaking bread with them. And then you roll out an ambassador program, and then we're doing monthly conversations with our ambassadors, and we're having monthly retreats with you and Mark, and you guys are just sharing knowledge with us, just
Yeah.
like you do with the notary community at the conferences. So I mean, you guys are just showing so much. And then what year is CNM, Complete Notary Mentorship, rolled out?
Complete Notary Mentorship rolled out in 2023.
Yeah, so yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's right. But last year, we
Last
said,
year.
hey, there's more to just loan signings to make money as a notary and signing agent. Like there's other ways to make money. Let's teach you guys how to make other ways of income, whether you're officiating weddings, doing field inspections, postilles, general notary work, anything like that. Like anything to do because you're a notary. Let's show everyone else how else you can make money, other sources of income besides loan signings.
Yeah.
That was revolutionary. I mean, I thought that was
Yeah.
fantastic. Like, wow, there's other ways to make money here.
It's amazing. I mean, being a notary is just such a amazing profession because of you have so many different ways of making money. And so, whether you're doing loan signings or, family trusts or, apostees, you could be a field inspector on the side and, it all works together. And so it's just an amazing business. So yeah, we wanted to make sure that people could round out their business and learn those type of things as well.
Yeah, I thought that was so awesome. And then also in 2023, you rolled out a beta test for a system for a CRM. Maybe tell people what a CRM is and what it is that you guys are kind of testing and working on right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, our current mission right now is to make sure that people have ultimate, basically the freedoms. I call them the four freedoms. I don't call them the four freedoms. This actually came from a book called Who Not How, Ben Hardy and Dan
Oh,
Sullivan.
okay.
And it's freedom of time, freedom of finances, freedom of relationships, and freedom of purpose. And so, we found as we developed loan signing system, the course is that we were teaching people how to make money. And one of the things that, as a loan signing agent, but one of the things that people still needed help with was a level of accountability and a process to ensure that they were able to do that in an efficient manner, right? As a loan signing agent, you not only have to do loan signings, but there's a level of developing relationships with other people.
Yeah.
And so a CRM is a client relationship management software. And what that allows you to do, CRM allows you to do, is it allows you really to set your business up for success. And it allows you to using things like automations. And so you can get consistent signing service business with, contact management. You can increase your
Right.
earnings and volume with direct business by using email marketing.
Uh-huh.
You can get more business by automating your marketing with social media and other tools. And so this tool is so powerful. It's unbelievable what this tool can do. You can automatically get these Google Business Profile reviews, so you can, get 5-star reviews,
Wow.
and you can increase your what's called reputation, online reputation. if you have 5-star reviews, if you have 55-star reviews, you're going to be on that top spot in Google Business Profile. And when somebody types in notary near me, they're going to find you, and
Oh,
they're going to
wow.
call you for business. And so, and of course, when that escrow officer looks you up, or if you share your reviews with them, they're more apt to hire you over somebody who doesn't have
Yeah.
any reviews whatsoever. The contact management, is essential with building a successful business. And so, if you've ever, Derek, I don't know if you've ever like wanted to call somebody or call one of your clients, and you have to like look them up in your phone, or you have to,
Yes.
go to your email and be like, oh,
Yes.
where's their signature block? I gotta
Exactly.
call them. And
Yes.
with a CRM, that's all at your fingertips, and
Wow.
you just are able to contact the people you need to when you need to contact them. So, and then of course, email marketing, so you can stay top of mind. So the CRM has gone through a beta program, and it is, I mean, the people are loving it. Melina. Melina has a million
Yeah.
dollar business, and she's implemented it in her business, and she absolutely, it's just a game changer what they're able to do. And the most important thing is when you implement a CRM, not only do you get more business, not only are you staying top of mind with your customers, your clients, you're also get time back. And again, our goal is to give you that freedom of finance, which the CRM will help you enhance the amount of money you
Uh-huh.
make, but also that freedom of time, which you're not having to, every moment that you're not searching for that phone number, or missing
Yes.
that task that where you're supposed to call somebody and follow up, or sending an individual email. Instead of doing that, you set up these automations, and you get that time
Wow.
back, and you could spend that time with your family.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, one thing I spend
Yeah.
a lot of time on, and that I know this will help too, is my social media. So I'm trying to, what
Yes.
should I create? What should I post? When should I post it? And
Mm.
this will also like automate that as well.
Oh, it's the social media tool it is unbelievable. So first and foremost, instead of having to think of what you need to post or what you want to post, it has AI built into this tool. And so you
Wow.
can actually set up your post in seconds, it'll write it for you. But then, not only that, you can actually schedule out the next month of posts using all AI. It can generate images for you. It is unbelievable. And that's what Molina was saying. They would spend an hour or two every day on social media, and
Yes.
now in an afternoon they can actually schedule the whole month worth of social media posts. And so it is a unbelievable tool, and we're really excited to help notaries with it.
Oh yeah, like I'm still just getting, in just barely getting in the water with it. And I can see I'm gonna go deep in the weeds with this. This is gonna be such an awesome tool. And again,
Yes.
like anyone can register and get the CRM, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Whether you're a loan signing system student or not, we really want to help people. Again, our mission now, I look at my life in like three phases, right? The
Okay.
first phase, I wanted to help people. I'm sorry. The first phase, I wanted to just be a good businessman, right? I just
Yes.
wanted to be good at business. But then I realized, oh, that's right. I actually, the second phase was like the slap in the face, where it's just like, no, Roman, you can't just be good at business. You actually have to balance it out, and you have to be good with your family, and give them the focus
Yes.
and time, and I can spend time with my sons, and I can spend time with my daughter. I was just at a dance recital with my daughter here last week. And it's because of the focus of that I had in this kind of second phase of my life. And the third phase of my life is, I want to pay it forward. And I want to make sure
Nice.
that people are able to have that freedom of time and freedom of finance in their lives. And you can't do it as a notary unless you have a tool like a CRM. And so we're really excited to share this tool with people, because of it's really going to help people achieve what I've always wanted to do, and that is to be able to
Mm.
make sure that my kids knew that I was there for them.
Dude, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
this CRM, like you said, is open to anybody. And just know there's lots of CRM programs out there, but this one was made by notaries for notaries. Just want to point that out. So that's a great tip.
Oh, Mark, this is the tool that Mark always wished he had. I mean, Mark,
Yeah.
was already a successful notary signing agent in his own right, right? Like, he's one of the top earning signing agents in the entire country, has his own signing service. And if he had this tool whenever he first started, I mean, it would have been an absolute game changer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm excited for this. And I mean, you're just up, you guys have other focuses now for the notary community. Like maybe share like where's your vision and where are you guys going? Because this is also going to be revolutionary for the notary and signing agent industry.
Yeah. So we have the CRM that's going to be launched. In fact, when people are listening to this, there's an opportunity to be using that CRM. What happens is when we look at kind of the journey of the notary, and this is something that Mark is constantly talking about, and that we constantly talk about here at Loan Signing System. When we look at the journey of the notary, when you first come in to Loan Signing System community, basically what you want to do is learn how to make more money, right?
Yeah.
And learn how to make more money and working for yourself on your own schedule so you get that time back as well. And once you learn how to do that, then the second phase is implementing your business. And we talked about that with the CRM. And CRM is a tool to help you implement your business. And once you are making money, and you might be making 50,
Uh-huh.
70, $100,000 as a notary signing agent, what we found is that there are people that they weren't making that much money before they became a loan signing agent or before they became a notary public.
Yes.
And now they're starting to make money and they're implementing their business. And now they have this tool with the CRM. Well, now, they still, and we've gotten questions time and time again, like, and Mark gets this question all the time, what do I do with my money? Like
Yeah.
and you and we're getting to that age where we're starting to think about retirement, right?
Yes.
And so, the funny thing is when you look at it, it's actually not funny. When you look at the statistics, the amount of people that are prepared for retirement, it's strikingly scary. It is,
Yes.
it's extremely low percentage of people. I don't even know what the percentage is, but that even have access to $1,000 in their bank account. And so what we saw that as a major issue.
Yeah.
And we would be doing the loans, we would be doing the notary community a disservice if we didn't address it. And so Mark has spent his entire passion and heart and soul in the last few months to ensuring that we can create, in essence, a notary retirement map. Because when you
Wow.
think about retirement, it's just math, right?
Yeah.
Like we can all retire, whether you make $50,000 a year as a notary, or 40 or 60 or 70 or 100. Everybody can retire a millionaire. It's just math. If you do the math,
Yep.
you'd be surprised at what you all you need to put away every month. And when you break that down in terms of loan signings, it's only like if you do a few extra loan signings every month, then you retire a millionaire. And so we wanted to make sure that people had that map available to them, that they were able to do that for themselves and create that plan. And so we're coming out with the Financial Mastery Notary Retirement Map in later this year. And so we're really excited about that. And then, of course, one of the things that when we look back, and so, we have loan signing system, we have the notary success CRM, and then we have the notary retirement map. But one of the things that we've benefited from is, as we've built our business and become good business people, is we've had access to coaches. We've had
Yes.
access to one-on-one coaches. And people have asked time and time again, hey, you know what, could you like you're right. You're like,
Yes.
Mark, can you just one-on-one coach me? Like, I
Yes.
just need that help, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so that's been something that we've wanted to do for years, and we're excited to be rolling out that opportunity for people too, so they can get unstuck in their business, they can move their business forward, and just like how you turned your business from a $10,000 a month business to a $25,000 a month business, we want to afford that same opportunity to other people as well through one-on-one coaching. And so we're excited about that. And, our goal is, again, we want to make sure that the notary public community has the ability to gain their freedom of fulfillment, freedom of time, freedom of finances. The four freedoms are freedom of time, freedom of finances, freedom of relationships, and freedom of purpose. And we're not going to stop until we help you achieve that.
dude. That is so awesome, man. Let's just recap real quick. You just talked about for the training on money. What is that called again?
I'm sorry.
For the training on money and investing. What's that called
Oh
again?
yeah, the notary retirement map, financial mastery.
Yeah, financial mastery. I mean, you see it, you see people that sports figures, athletes, actors, whatever, like they start making money and they're not used to that and they blow it. Anyone that's ever won the lottery, almost anyone that's ever won the lottery, they lost it. If you don't have like the essentials of what to do with money, you're gonna waste it all and spend it all.
That's right.
I'm very lucky that before I became a notary, I was working in finance. So I knew what to do with my money when I was making. I was just like, great, now I can really start planning for my future. But before that, I was paycheck to paycheck, struggling here and there. But now okay, here's a way. Take this course, learn how to do it the right way, become a signing agent or start a signing service. Now that you're making more money, what should you do with it? Plan for your future, enjoy it as well, but also plan. Maybe give a little. That's one thing I know you and Mark do too. You guys give, whether time or money, you guys give, and you're
Always.
able to do that type of thing. That is so fulfilling in itself, being able to give, but then also knowing that you're
Absolutely.
planning for your future. You can retire a millionaire. You're right. I've taught
Yes.
my when my daughter was 18, I made her set up a retirement account when she was 18 and making money. I'm like,
Wow.
at age 30, you can buy a house cash,
Yeah.
and save. You'll be a multimillionaire when you retire. I was teaching her that at a young age, but not all of us were taught that. And
Good
you
job.
guys are going to be teaching the notary community that. I think that is fantastic because both of you have done very well financially, and you're just another way for you guys to give back. So that is
Yeah.
amazing. And
Our
then
goal. Yeah,
go ahead.
we just want to pay it forward.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And now the one thing you guys have been probably asked the most about is how can I get one-on-one coaching? How do I get a mentor? And you're saying we are now rolling that out. You're getting access to mentors. And tell maybe share real quick, who are these type of mentors that people have that will have access to?
Oh, I mean, you know all too well. So, we have some of the most amazing community of first and foremost, the loan signing system community is just absolutely fantastic. And the reason why is because of we have ambassadors from coast to coast. That were basically handpicked by Mark himself, hand trained. Spend time with the notary community in Salt Lake City and
Yeah.
throughout Utah, and you share your expertise and your knowledge with them, and obviously you had an opportunity to spend time with Mark, and you guys have your masterminds with
Yeah.
them, and you're always learning. And so one of the things that we knew from the very beginning is that there's no better person to help a notary become successful than someone like yourself and our wonderful ambassadors all across the United States. And so our one-on-one coaching program is going to be with our ambassadors throughout the United States. It covers all 50 states. And, this is, literally, millions and millions of dollars of
Yeah.
loan signing business experience. The experience that our ambassadors span is unbelievable. Literally, over 100,000 signings across all 50 states. Every single one of our ambassadors are signing service owners. And so you hire notaries every
Yeah.
single day, and you know what you're looking for whenever you hire a notary. There's no better person than you to let a notary know what they should do to make sure that they can build a business. So that they're hired by other signing services, they're hired by escrow officers. You do it every single day. And so
Yes.
so we're really excited to provide that resource because of, again, there's no better person than you to tell a notary, what you look for whenever you're hiring a notary.
Yeah. I'm excited to announce, that announcement will roll out this week, and people watching and listening to the podcast here are actually going to be the first ones to know about it. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing, Roman. And yes, if you guys want to get coaching one-on-one by me, you can go there, get signed up, and you can request me to be your mentor, and I'll coach you one-on-one on how I have created started off as a signing agent working purely with signing services, making 100,000 to then going direct, marketing direct, and then how I started my signing service, now doing over 300,000 a
Wow.
year, doing Ron in we've done already 10 countries doing Ron, and we've done signings in all 50 states. And so
Wow.
I can teach you all
That's
how
awesome.
I did that. So Yeah, I mean, this is exciting. I mean, just the history of the loan signing system. I'm glad I was there to see it from the beginning. I just wish I would have started in the beginning instead of much later. Who knows how far along I would be now, but that's okay. It is what it is, and I'm glad to do it now.
Well,
You know,
they say that there's two good times to plant a tree. One is 20 years ago, and one is
yeah,
today. So, you know,
exactly.
you ended up starting the course. If you're listening out there and you haven't started the loan signing system course yet, what are you waiting for? Today is a perfect day to get started.
Yeah, I always put my affiliate link. So if you're interested in doing the course, my affiliate link is there. So if you can use my affiliate link, I would appreciate it. But yeah, we've got, you guys started off with the loan signing system. You guys started doing conferences that anyone could attend. Then you started the complete notary mentorship, which again, anyone can sign up for that without having to be a loan signing system student to learn other ways to generate income, multiple sources of income because you are a notary. Then you started the CRM program made for notaries by notaries, tested by notaries and signing agents and
Mhm,
signing service owners. And
mhm.
that's rolling out. Then we have the financial mastery coming out that you're going to teach again notaries and signing agents. Now you're being successful, now you're making money, what should you do to plan for your future so you're here for the long run? And now, hey, let's help you get one-on-one coaching so you can just keep growing. The best thing you can do is just have constant one-on-one mentorship. That's the only way you're going to keep growing, is by having that one-on-one mentorship, plus gives you some accountability as well. So I
Yes.
mean, I purely enjoy what you and Mark have created, and it's just unbelievable. And I want to say thank you for providing all this information. There's
Mm.
so much at our fingertips now to be successful. Thank you for doing that.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I'm so happy to be here with you and with the notary community. Again, you know, becoming a notary changed my life. It's changed a lot of people's lives. And again, we just want to help other people and pay it forward. So,
It changed my life. Becoming a notary was just going to be a little side thing to help family. I wasn't even in charge. It was just something for my clients and my friends. I had no idea it would grow to the way it's been, and it's changed my life. It's my primary focus in business right now, and I had no idea. I remember when my wife was telling some of her family, like, "Oh, he's gonna become a notary now." Like, what? Like, you can go to the bank for free and get that. Like, he's gonna be a notary. They just thought, oh no, what have you got yourself into? Like, you married this guy that wants to be a notary, which is a free service. Little do they know, that we're
yeah,
the income we've got now, and we're able to give to our family that need it. And there's
yeah.
someone that has an issue in the family. Like, hey, this just recently, one of my in-laws, and I've never met them. They live in Mexico, and they were like, hey, we had this issue came up. Uh, and then some of the family say, hey, maybe we should send some money down to them. It's like, done.
Wow,
That's why I'm in business. Is
beautiful.
everything my kids do, everything my girls do. I'm at every event. I'm at every choir event, every graduation event, every school
Wow.
event, every dance recital
Mm,
like you just had with
yeah.
your daughter. Everything. I'm the only guy there. I'm the only dad there. I make time to go to that. My
Wow.
my daughter wanted to go to a fairy tea party in the middle of the day. We're going. I'm the
Yeah.
only guy there. I'm surrounded by 30 women and little girls, and I'm the only guy there. If she wants me there, I'm going to be there, and
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's something I've learned from you guys too, is that make the time for the family. And I
Wow.
had no idea I'd be where I'm at. And I thank you and Mark for that. I want to thank you guys for teaching me not only how to be a better father and to be a better friend and to be a better business owner, but also I want to thank you both for your friendship. I want to thank you, Roman, for your friendship. We
Mm,
text each other, we call each other. You're checking in on my health, and I appreciate that. And that means a lot to me. We were just talking about health. I just made a big announcement on the last episode about my health, and
mm,
you've been checking in with me, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate your friendship. We were just together in March. We were just together in San Diego, and we went out and we had a good time, and we broke bread together. We had drinks together.
mhm.
And I appreciate you sharing everything. But most of all, I want to thank you for your friendship.
Yeah, thank you so much. Wow, thank you. And look, you know, Mark and I met you in, yeah, 2022, was it 2021, 2022, whenever we met in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And from the very moment that I met you, I could tell that you had a huge heart. And now that I've heard all of the thing, going to tea with your daughter and and just seeing you in action with the notary community, there's no better person to be an ambassador here for
Oh, thank you.
Salt Lake City and Utah than you. And I just want to give you all the flowers, all the kudos in the world for just sharing your heart and sharing your heart with others, with the notary community, and also, you know, putting your family at the forefront. And quite frankly, you know, I'll say this too, you know, your big announcement from last episode, you know, thank you for sharing that story, because of it's already changing lives. I was inspired by it. I've completely changed my diet, and
Good.
I'm just so proud to be your friend and to call you a friend. So thank you.
No, thank you. You're gonna make me tear up here. So, yes, thank you. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you wanted to get out there? Or I just want to make sure we covered all different things to be announced for the notary community.
No, I mean, I said, like, this is these announcements are pretty big, and
Yes,
you
they are.
listeners are make sure you like and subscribe and comment too, because if you guys got the goods, you guys got the tea. Like, this is it. Like, this is like, you guys heard it first.
You did. Everyone here did. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have the links, in the podcast and YouTube channel. We will have the links there, so you guys can click on that and get access to everything. So, well, Roman, again, thank you for your time and sharing all this information with the Peak Signing Agents podcast and YouTube channel, because it's changing people's lives and
Mm,
changing people's businesses for the good. And one thing that so I always felt that was important that you guys shared was it's not only about ourselves and making money for ourselves and our family. That is important, but it's also providing great service to show that how important the notary community is, how important the loan signing agents are in the real estate transactions. And it's always important that we provide the best service, because a lot of people forget we're in the service industry,
mhm,
and that's so important that we provide great service. Roman,
mm.
again, thanks for your time. Everyone be well. I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, share it, comment, follow, whatever it is that you do to show support. I'd appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye now.
Bye.